I'm Tony Uddin and I pastor Tower Hamlets Community Church in East London, as well as being a part of the 3D team. And I'm here today with Joel Nanganuri, and Joel's a friend of mine who is a really good missional thinker. And I always enjoy discussing mission with him. Joel, we met at a South Asia forum, didn't we?
Yes, we did. That was the first time we met in a forum where we kind of caught the vision together and like-minded people coming together. So that's where.
Yeah, those mission forums that we put on are a really good space for collaborating in mission, finding friendships, but also finding those who have a similar heart in mission. And I was struck very much by your heart of wanting to see unreached people reached. And you've got quite an interesting story. You took on New Life Pentecostal Church in Hemel Hempstead in the middle of COVID, didn't you?
Yes, I think that was a great time to take on, to be honest, where everybody will be kind of thinking of when to take the church on. I think that was the best period possibly, I would possibly say, in terms of God's plan, not according to my plan. But yes, it's been a challenging time to take on. The church was handed over at the end of May 2020 and fully taken on from 1st of August 2020, where it was middle of pandemic.
And what's interesting about that is, for me, that's a time, if we look back at that, when churches were often very worried just about keeping going or their own finances, drops in giving. I've been really struck by the way you approach that, so that rather than just having people focus in a very insular way, part of your response was to lead in a new missional direction as well, building on the good work of your predecessor. Do you want to talk to us a little bit how you handled that?
Right. I've been an assistant pastor, and I had the privilege to be working under Pastor David Chapman. And under his Syrian leadership, I had the opportunity to visit Uganda in 2019. And then I came back to build the relationships and then to how we can help the local community there, where we met the church and also a school which we want to support. And then as I came back in November 2019, and from December we heard about pandemic, and March everything was closed, and that's where the time hit. So during that process, we didn't have much to logistically think what's happening or what's going on. What we were there is to support those people who are in need. Just to give you a background, that people in Uganda who we met, they don't get salary that in terms of monetary. They get matuke, which is green bananas or beans, in return to what they work for. So in that area, when pandemic hit, it was very hard for them to support themselves or the families. As a church, I would possibly say we gave more during that period than any time before or after.
That's remarkable, isn't it?
It is actually, and I really thank God. And also I take this on to each and every single member of the church who caught the vision. They didn't think of themselves. It isn't that they kept for them, but actually it was a sacrifice what they gave. Their working hours were cut down, their payment was less here, right in the UK, but still they gave more. I could say we are a church of average 70 people gathering on a weekly basis, but for us to give about £8,000 just in the time of pandemic was a big sum to send to India and Uganda, which supported nearly 2,000 families in Uganda and 1,000 families in India during the season from March till December to 2020.
Let's just think about that again. So a church of 70 impacting 3,000 families just through having a generous heart.
Yes, it is. It's just, I would say, always as I took on, it has always been my vision to have a missional church. Now we put it as a New Life Pentecostal Church is a missional church. We depend on its faith and boldness. Those are the two areas as a leader, I would like to take forward to say, if you have faith, come on, let's do what is happening there and be part of it. And to do what you want to do, you need boldness to do. I think those are two taken up. And especially this year in 2023, the vision for us is, Lord, increase our faith. Brilliant. And also the prayer is that give us the Spirit which gives us boldness so we can preach boldly from Acts. So those are the things we are now practicing in our church right now.
And what I love about that is the idea that you're growing a church that now has people with a bigger mindset, a bigger vision, a more missional outlook. What's been the impact on your people through that?
Yes, as kind of 2019 was the first trip out as missions being taken on as a church initially. Now, the vision is much wider than just being the church. Local community, which is outreach within Hemel Hempstead and surrounding, and also reaching out to the others. In that area of always being, as a leader, you got to be influential. My heart, I would say, I am the product of somebody who cared for me when they loved somebody as on missions because of my personal experience. So carrying that and being influential in terms of our congregation, knowing reaching out is the main purpose. Our purpose as Christians is not being called to Him as Christ Jesus, but also bringing the same message to others. In that, even from the young children, they are now focused missionally. A 5-year-old says, come back to one Sunday school and tells, hey, you know what? I went to my friend. All I did was to tell about Jesus. And she came back from school. So right from Sunday school, and we have secondary school as well. Now, as an impact of that, we have a couple who are planning to go and give their skills in Uganda as well, in terms of farming and what they can do as generating income for themselves, and also starting piggery projects which are already there.
So that's brilliant, because that's not people taking a typical ministry gift, that's taking professional skills, partnering with the church in Uganda and helping them towards a more sustainable future, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, we take it as Jesus did. He just didn't preach the word. He fed them. So if we were to do and follow Jesus, that's what we are aiming for. Partnering with the local church in Uganda, give them the skills that's needed so that they can be self-sufficient as a family, as a church, as a community. That's what we are looking for.
That's brilliant. And one of the things I love about this is, in our globalized world, mission is from anywhere to anywhere. And I love the whole idea of diaspora mission, communities that God has really moved around the world, impacting other communities. And it's great having people like yourself who really are at the sharp end of that. And just one other thing I wanted to just talk to you about. I'm aware that your church support a mission worker in a fairly closed nation that we can't mention here. How have you gone about keeping that front and center in the church when also having to be careful about what you can or can't say?
We do support a couple of missionaries in Southeast Asia. We are very particular about, and when we are supporting them, not much information is given out, but the congregation, they pray about them. They are very clear of praying for them, because what they do, where they are doing, is a place where it's quite a closed country there. And making them aware, not much that, you don't have the persecution now. It was then as well, but now to protect them as much is our responsibility. Not only sending out, protecting them, keeping them in our prayers, and not disclosing or discussing openly at any point.
That's brilliant. It's one of the things that we've really seen that's encouraged us is increasingly churches deploying resources into fairly closed, or often very closed locations, and really doing the hard yards, because that's where there's a huge potential missional impact. So Joel, thank you for leading change. Thank you for all that you bring to us as a movement. It's great spending time with you today.
Thank you very much.